Hello, EmblemCon.
Yay!
Hello.
We are here for technically the last panel, but we have the closing ceremony, I guess. But we're here with the, as always, lovely Christian La Monte.
Yo. It's me. Yeah, it should last 2 weeks. It sounds like you guys can do another week, right? You can just power through another week's worth of content.
We started at 2 days and we're now at 4 days. Like, we've already, doubled.
It's, not light work.
Was it only the first con that was 2 days, and then it just went from 3 from there?
Wait, am I misremembering? I thought we would 2 days for, a year or something.
I wasn't here for the first one, so I'm talking about, the very first one that I wasn't here.
Bro, that was in 2020. I don't remember.
2020 felt like a fake year. I don't remember anything from 2020 anymore.
It is a fake year. It's not real. No one's checking.
But yeah, we're here with Christian La Monte, who's done voices in, of course, Fire Emblem, but also in games like Unicorn Overlord, Persona 3 Reload, in anime like Blue Box, the most recent one, the Demi-Fiend in Shin Megami Tensei 3, which I thought was really awesome that you got to voice the Demi-Fiend.
Yeah, it was super fun.
I still need to play that game.
Shin Megami Tensei 3? From 2001? I say that like I don't have games from then on my backlog too. I'm like, really? Oh dear, come on, pull it together.
I have Fire Emblems 1 to 3 on my backlog, which I think existed before which were from before I was born. So
games from the 90s just casually on my backlog. And we're never gonna get to some of these at this point.
Well, look, they made some of those games really good. It's hard to beat Chrono Trigger. It's really.
I've never played Chrono Trigger. That's on my backlog.
You haven't played Chrono Trigger? Chrono Trigger's only 25 hours long.
I only know Fire Emblem. Everything else, I've never played Metroid. I've never played the Mother series. I've not played anything. There's a reason why I run EmblemCon and not anything less niche.
You gotta diversify your portfolio.
I'm here because this is the only series I know.
Look, that's all right. If you love Fire Emblem, then that's the way to go. It's pretty great.
Fire Emblem is Aka's major, and we love him for that.
Metaclord asks, saying they're calling you out. Why do you hate Mwamba?
It's like out of nowhere you just happen to focus in on what Mechaclod has to say.
Oh, it looked bullyable, and I was going to question if that's Mwamba from Xenoblade 3, because if so, I want to know the context, and it sounds fun.
I mean,
well, the context is that I don't hate Mwamba. In fact, I am the world's biggest Mwamba lover. I merely pointed out that he said a bunch of shit that seemed like he was gonna die. He kept saying things like, I'm 2 days from retirement, and there's only so much you can do when you say that. The only character from Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that I love more than Mwamba is Hacked, and Hacked is dope.
Understandable.
For all 2 lines of Hacked's appearance. Who's Hacked, you ask? A good question. He's the Mwamba of the other group.
Yeah, no, I remember. My favorite character from the Xenoblade series is Xeon from Xenoblade 3, so I understand the weirdness of loving some random guy that no one gives a shit about, because my favorite's the Potato Man. In a series as well written and gorgeous as that, my favorite is the Potato Guy. So
the little potato guy, though. He's really great.
He's
phenomenal.
Even the smallest characters, they need fans, so it's well respected.
It's true. If Mwamba has no lovers, I am dead. That doesn't make any sense. That makes it sound like a different kind of fandom, but it's not. We love Mwamba.
The Church of Mwamba over here.
Completely understandable.
It looked bullyable. Man. Wow, what a freaking what a call.
Yeah.
That's an insane thing to say.
It's true, though.
See, if I ever did the first panel, I feel like I'd get a very different version of you guys.
You actually,
you would,
actually. You'd get the version where I'm too terrified to speak.
We've lost all sense of, or peripheral
But by
vision
the
for
end,
making a
all-
professional panel at this
all
point.
professionalism goes away.
That's fair.
And then you get the post-com realization of like, oh no, Christian's never gonna come back because I bullied him about Mwamba in the first 5 minutes of his panel.
Oh,
And then
man.
every year. Every year.
But yeah, welcome to the Fire Emblem convention. So is Xenoblade 3 your favorite Xenoblade?
That's a good question that I am not currently capable to answer because I haven't finished it because that's on my backlog. I was streaming it off the recommendation of many people, but primarily Mecha Claude, of like, you need to play this because it's good. I hear nothing about but it's good and amazing. And I started it and we played like 8 hours. We played through like the opening part of it, which is real big and dramatic, and there's a lot of twists and turns. And then I was like, all right, guys, I gotta go, but we'll keep going. And then I didn't stream any more of it. And then and every time I stream, I am bullied about playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And every time I'm like, oh no, we're playing Mario and Luigi this time or whatever, but we'll get to it. And finally, I was bullied into doing it. I was bullied into doing it again. And we played the game because I had to reinstall it. And we turned it on, and it had been exactly 1 year to the day since we had last sincerely played Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So at this rate, we will get through it in the next 120, 140 years.
Understandable. Completely understandable.
But look, at the moment, it's tough not to love Xenoblade Chronicles 1. It was great. It's tough not to love Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It has waifus. And it's tough not to love
Oh my god.
Xenoblade Chronicles X because it has space. But...
yeah.
The entire Xenoblade Chronicles series on the Switch, all fantastic games with like a huge epilogue or DLC campaign on them. Like, I don't know how Monolith Soft does it. They're wizards at the craft of anything that they make. It's crazy.
It's so wild because the more and more, like, I've always loved JRPGs. It's always been my jam of one way or another is like JRPGs, and I'm fully on board with like, let's do wacky shit. Let's go as weird as possible, and let's do stuff now that will pay off in 4 games. And to see some games do it and be like, I trust you, and to have other games do it and I'm like, I don't trust you're gonna close this loop. I don't think this character is ever going to come back and be relevant again. I don't believe you. And sometimes they surprise me, and sometimes they're like, well, next game, we promise. And I'm like, no, it won't be. It is weird. I apologize for that.
But that's what makes Xenoblade so good. Like, if you play the other games in the series and you get to the end of 3, if you get to the DLC of 3, Future Redeemed, oh man, Future Redeemed is like the moments that the fans wait for.
It is, in fact, redeemed. That is what I've heard. They're just like, hey, let's put all this stuff together. Is Elma in that, too? Is Elma in there somewhere? I feel like she was.
Do you want to
Or was she just a blade in 2?
Do you want to
She was a blade.
Because, yeah, she
was a blade, though, so we'll call that. That's the connection point.
Yeah.
I think there are things connecting. But admittedly, I don't know much about the lore of Xenoblade X. Thankfully, my spouse is asleep. It's like their favorite Xenoblade, so they can't complain at me for saying that.
Yeah,
I feel like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, X has like that extra epilogue, which I think apparently tries to tie some things more together, or probably raises more questions too. But it does try to like connect things together for whatever they have planned next.
I think it also tries to connect to the Xenosaga.
Nice.
Yeah, there's some bits.
Well, as soon as you're like alternate timelines, at that point you can like Stephen King your way into like it's all connected, and I'm like, okay, that seems like the easy way to go. It's all connected, but sure.
Exactly. Oh, actually, this is a pin-worthy message. Okay, I like when people come from Christian's regular chat because they just bully him mercilessly.
It's the most salty I ever see our chat the entire year.
If Christian had grudges against being bullied, he wouldn't be dating Allegra.
Wow, hurtful. Hurtful but fair. Look. I'm just a little guy. Why are you bullying me? I'm just a little guy. I'm so small. Cool. Silence. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks, guy.
No, I'm sorry. I can't tell if Aka's like thinking of what to say next,
I'm
or
just laughing
they're
at the
about to
chat.
pass out where they're sitting.
I'm just laughing at the chat. Also, yeah, Allegra like raided us like right before this.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
We were playing
Nice.
Fire Emblem Codenames, and we got the surprise raid towards the very end, and we're like,
Oh,
we're not
that's
with
nice.
Christian yet. Everyone, hope you all stick around.
Just give us like 30 minutes, and we'll have him here.
And there I be. No, I think they were doing Banjo-Tooie or Animal Crossing or something today. Allegra's been on a real old platformer kick.
Oh
hell yeah,
Which I respect.
Banjo-Tooie, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love Banjo-Tooie.
Oh, we actually finally have a question.
Whoa.
We finally have an actual
that's what we're doing.
question.
That's what we're doing here? All right, go for it.
When you get a role for a character in a video game or TV show, how do you celebrate?
That's a super good question. Mostly, I there's a lot of weeping involved. But like honestly, it's just a sigh of relief. You know, it's always because I mean, you do so much when you are an actor, and especially in voiceover, you're auditioning constantly. Like you're doing sometimes multiples a night. You're doing like 5 to 10 a week. You're like constantly throwing the spaghetti at the wall and hoping that something will stick. So whenever something sticks, it's just that like, oh, thank God, okay, I am still good at my job. Even though that's not in any way the indicator of whether or not you're good at your job. I've met plenty of people who I'm like, why aren't you every major character? And they're like, I don't know. And, you know, plenty of people who are every major character. And I'm like, why are you every major character? And they're like, I don't know. And it's so, along with all of the other things, because there is like a baseline of skill and all of the stuff that you have to like achieve and work towards. Once you like get in there and it becomes your life and your job and your career, it's so luck of the draw. And that's such a killer because it seems not fair. But there's so much work and there's so much, you know, there's so much life and there's so much opportunity in this business that like there's always something else around the corner. That's the only way I stay sane when I don't get to be in like series that I love with all of my heart when I see their auditions go out. And you can tell sometimes they're like they're like, oh, it's a code name. And I'm like, yeah, but you left this term in and I'm a fucking nerd. So I know what this game series is now. But like the only way that I survive sometimes not getting in that stuff is just being like, it's okay, because guess what? There's going to be 14 more games. There's going to be another one. You know, there's always more stuff that's going to happen. So mostly I just like, I'm relieved. I survive. We go on to the next thing.
I love the next level nerdery of knowing all the code names and what they mean when auditioning for something.
Oh, definitely. And some like, what's crazy is I meet people who are in this industry who have no earthly idea, where they're like, "Oh, is that what that was for?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
We've talked to some voice actors who have said that, and they've said like, "Yeah, like we have no idea." So it's very funny that having.
God, it's so scary though. Like just not knowing. You send all these auditions out because I have a couple of friends who are starting to do voice acting as well, and it's rough starting out for them. Like they'll send out 50, 60 auditions and maybe get a notice that they might want to do a follow up from one of them or two of them if they're lucky, which is crazy. And then it's that validation of getting that one that makes you feel like, oh, I can actually do this. I should keep trying because there are people that notice me and value the work that I do.
Because I've also been on the other side of it. When I worked with Sega Atlas, like I sat in the room when we cast people, and I know what it's like. And it's never like all these people are trash except this one person. Like no, it's like they're all really good. How do we pick which one we want to use for this? You know. And look, everybody has an off day and everyone has a weird day and stuff like that. And I've heard some auditions where I'm like, what was going on here, man? What was your plan with this? Because this is not great. You know, I've heard an audition that had a guy, you know, he was talking as close physically to the mic as he could possibly get. And then there was a yell and you heard him walk into the middle of his wood-paneled living room to shout. And it's like, everything about this is terrifying and terrible. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. I know they're a good actor, they just don't know how to do this particular thing. So like it's really such a toss-up, and so much of what we perceive. Look, like you can look at like Zach Aguilar and you're like, Zach Aguilar is every character on earth. He's every character on Earth, and he deserves it because he's phenomenal. But it's like, even Zach is like, why the hell can't I get in this one series that I keep auditioning for? Like, we all have these things that we're like, we don't know. We're doing 100 auditions a month. We're just hoping that something decides it wants us, and moreover, that thing goes for a while or comes back a bunch.
Yeah. There's just so many insanely talented people that, like... yeah, I'm not surprised with any of that. We have... oh yeah, a bunch of people have been mentioning Unicorn Overlord ever since we mentioned it. A bunch of people have been.
Yeah.
Raiden asked what it's like both voicing and directing Unicorn Overlord.
It was super good. That's what it was. Because I was so thrilled about Unicorn Overlord when it came out, and I got to be a part of it because I love like those style of games. Again, like I grew up playing those style of games and stuff, the March of the Black Queens and all of those like really old style tactical RPGs. So obviously I was like, oh, it's just one of those. Sick, let's do that. And then, you know, we were working through it, and there were so many characters. There were so many characters in Unicorn Overlord. And basically, because there were so many characters, and it wasn't like in a Fire Emblem style where it's like, hey, this is character focused and character driven, like it's about them and their relationships. It was like, no, it's a lot of characters because you're building an army, and you know, some of them get some bonus screen time, but primarily it's like, hey, you want to recruit this fox girl? Boom, go to town, do that. You can then go recruit her bear friend. Like there's all of these options and stuff like that. So with everybody there was like a system, and basically when they would come in, I'd be like, all right, cool, you're gonna play this character, and basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna run through like your recruitment scenario. And whatever is involved there, we'll do the couple times you pop up in the story. We will do the end of the game, and I had a speech for the end of the game because every character had an individual version of showing up at the end of the game when you fought the you know, said Overlord, before it's, you know, before cool. You ostensibly become said Unicorn Overlord. But like, so every character got this rundown like an hour after they were told who they were. I was like, great, so it's the big bad, right? And he's like, soul of your mouth, like all of this stuff. And then we would do like the love sequence, where you get smooched. And some of them have the best smooching sequences. Oh my god. I think it's Morden has like the best smooching sequence because he's like an old man with like a big bristly beard and a big beer gut, and he's like this dope fighter. He's amazing. But when you invite him to like the thing, and there are no spoilers, like you're gonna smooch a character. It's a JRPG. So no spoilers. But like when you invite him to like the Grove to present him with the thing that isn't like labeled as smooching, but it's very highly smooch implied. He's like, oh, great, you're going to give someone the ring. Fantastic. Who is it? And like the main character keeps trying to be like, you, dude. And he's like, right, yes, we will plan a delightful disguise. And I will stay there. And like, he's going to like Cyrano de Bergerac you through your proposal until about halfway through. He's like, wait, me? Like, yeah, you. Oh, like it's the best stuff. So like we got to have so much fun because we would play these like super huge character moments. And then when I went in to do it, like I knew my route through it. So, you know, we were doing it and the client was helping out and they were like picking takes and stuff. So I didn't have to. But Erebus is such a cool, weird character because he's got his like recruitment scenario, but he also like can be plot relevant if you do a bunch of work to make him plot relevant. Because of spoilery type reasons. So like he had all that, and we went through all the stuff. We went through the big bad confrontation at the end, and we went through the like smooching where he's like, of course you'd smooch me, I'm great. And then we had to go back because I was like, oh right, all the stuff where he's like important, and we went back and we did all of those plot lines. We did all of that stuff too. So it was fun because like I knew the roots and I knew it so well. And I had in my head what everybody else had done. And generally my job as a director is to convey to the talent what the people around them are doing. I can be like, great, so like, you know, like Sylvain came in real hard on this line, so like you're talking back to him and you're trying to respond and like get that energy back at him so that they can know how to work off the scene, or so I can read them in or something like that. But with this, it was all just in my head. So it was just me being like, you know, one day I discovered a rose among all the blooms. Ha! I will kill it. Like it's just this like back and forth patter of like next thing. thing. But it's super fun, you know. I'm very fortunate when I get other people to direct me. I really do love getting someone else who like has all that knowledge and information. But I feel like I've directed myself enough at this point where I'm like, it's cool. I'll figure it out. I'll make it work. I'm really sorry, engineer, for how annoying I'm about to be, but it is fun.
God, the idea of directing yourself sounds really funny, actually.
I'll tell you what, I'm real hard on myself. I'm harder on myself than I am on almost anybody else. And while that sounds like a dick thing to say, it is also true.
I think most artists are.
That's a mood.
I think pretty much every person in the creative industry is like that, to be honest. We're all our own biggest critics.
That's very true. It is the nature of the thing.
I mean, I've had several voice actors all say how great it's been when you've been the director as well.
That's very sweet of them.
Yeah.
They don't know what I say when I'm off the talk back, but you know.
It's okay, we won't tell them.
That's fair.
But yeah, that's sort of, it's so scary with creatives because I do graphic design, video production, all that sort of stuff. We have a channel. I do videos, and it's kind of like the same situation somewhat with voice acting in the case of where I can spend all this time making this one thing, and I'm halfway through it. It's just like, is this even good? Am I even good at this stuff? Is anyone going to watch this at all? And then you send it out. And you're like, oh god, it's out there in the world now. I don't know what's gonna happen anymore. And then people start commenting, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is great. And you're like, okay, I can actually make things that make people happy. And it's that sort of, I guess it's that sort of same creative field in which like we need that constant validation, no matter how much we've been doing it, no matter how good we feel like we are, to just constantly being told by others, like, no, man, this is something you should be doing. This is something that you're meant to do. And yeah, I'm always just supporting voice actors to say like, yeah, man, you guys do great work to like give us experiences in these games that we couldn't get otherwise by fleshing out these characters in ways that we can't do in our heads because you guys are much better at it than we are.
Well, I appreciate that, and we have a couple tries to make sure that we're doing it right.
Gosh, I forgot what game it was that I had played recently, but I think there was like a part where you could hear they did a take and then they did the second take and they didn't edit out the second take.
Oh, like the Oblivion classic?
Yeah, something like that. And it's oh, whoopsie. And like that, but that's pretty much every line. Like they do a few takes of almost every line. They just pick the ones that are the most, that they feel works the best for each individual one, right?
Ideally, that's the plan. Generally, what I do is I like to have people give me an A and a B. Some people like doing 3 in a row because by the third one, they're like, I don't know what to do. And sometimes they stumble onto something that's weird but cool. But generally, I'm like, give me an A and a B. And most of the time, they're pretty solid. And I'm like, great. Well, I give them like 40 minutes of direction. And then I'm like, give me an A and a B. And then mostly it's just me being like, great, like you're here. I need you to be here. And it's like, it's these very small shifts and stuff like that. And sometimes like we'll try stuff and we'll give them alternate takes and things like that. There's always these sort of like opportunities to really like hone in a performance and try stuff. But it's about, the biggest thing that I have learned that you can do in this is to trust the person who's on the other side of the glass, whether it's the actor or the director or the engineer or anything like that. Like you have to know that it's like a team effort and they want it to be just as good as you want it to be. So like, occasionally there are some actors whom I love with all my heart, and I'm not going to mention any names here, but like they are constantly in their heads about it, and they're like phenomenal. They're some of the best actors that you know and would know offhand, but like they're so constantly worried about their own performance and to make sure that like they did it the exact right, perfect way, and stuff, which I get, but that comes, I think, from a desire to be as good as you can possibly be at this thing because you've been told repeatedly and like your career has shown that you're super good at this thing. But also it's like this sort of like, it's this self-dependence, and part of being an actor and director and working in the creative industry is releasing just a little of that, like taking the pressure off just a little bit to be like, I trust this other person to tell me that I'm doing a good job and to take the thing that is right for the moment. Because some people I've had to limit. I'm like, you get 5, can I go back and listen to that line? So you get 5. And every time I'm like, do you want to use one of your 5 on this when you do this? And then they think about it for a while and they hem and they haw, and then eventually they're like, no, it was good. Or they're like, yes, I do want to go back and hear that. And then they hear it and they'll be like, oh, it was great. And I'm like, yeah. That's why I took it. next to you. But it's true, yeah. It's a large scale imposter system, and it's very real. And we're constantly being compared, and not to turn it into this, which is not my intent, but like in social media, it doesn't help. It's not.
No.
Even people who are innocently like, I didn't love this performance. It's like, yes, I promise you, the actor will see that and then be sad.
Yeah.
Just keep your negative thoughts in your heads, people.
People
something
feel very safe.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. That old
and look, and that's not to say like, people shouldn't be out there like it's social media, have your opinions, like believe the things you believe, especially when it comes to stuff that has no large scale consequence like video games, and whether what your opinions on, this game's acting or not are. But like, yeah, it's out there and it's public, and you're allowed to think what you want to think. But it's like, yeah, it's that everybody is doing their best. I promise you that much. Everybody who works on these things is doing their absolute best to make them as good as they can possibly be.
Oh, and the fact that like every voice actor you speak to has always been like so kind and so willing to then just spend usually nearly the whole hour just blabbing about how the voice acting industry works. It's obvious there's just so much passion and actual love and care behind it. And everyone goes into so much detail about how much they just love the art form of getting to voice act.
We work real hard.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah, you do.
There was
man.
Mechacore did have a serious question that they
wow,
wanted to
crazy.
preface that it was a serious question for once. They asked, how does it feel to voice a returning character in a sequel series? Is there added pressure to live up to not only your previous performance, but also being in a new or unfamiliar cast? Or is it more like putting on a well-fitted suit that you haven't worn in a while?
That's a really good question, because it's like there's a certain degree of like, yes, I know how to do this thing, and there's a certain degree of like, am I doing it right? Did I do the thing correctly? Did I nail the thing? Is the writing as good as it was? Is it better? Did things change? Did I make sure that I echoed all of the stuff that like is supposed to work? And I think in particular when it comes to stuff, there's a couple different schools of this that I've seen or been a part of, and one of them is like, hey, the character is different now, and it's like, yeah, they're different because of whatever circumstances, either the circumstances of it being like later in their life, so they have a different experience, or sometimes much earlier in their life, so they have a different experience. Or sometimes, like in the case of like hopes and stuff, it's tough because it's like, hey, this is a different version of this world, and theoretically different things have happened. So like, hey, you did not get all of the journey that we spent months and months and months of recording taking you through. Like, you just didn't get that yet because we didn't get the full time skip. It's just 3 years later now. So now you're dealing with a version of you that is not quite the same. And like, you as an artist and an actor who put all of yourself into this previous version are now like trying to like, hey, did I do the thing right within the boundaries of who I am while still taking this new thing into account? One of the things that I really always love seeing, and that I think is such a challenge for actors, is when you are the new character in an old series, like showing up to be like Kasumi in Persona 5 Royal, or anything like that, where it's like, hey, like they're already a thing. You better, you got to be on top of your game to meet these expectations because they're already liked. You got to be equally good and interesting to like be a part of this, and like the pressure is high. And to be fair, it's not high on Laura because Laura's the fucking best, so she just was like, yeah, I'm great all the time. But like but like for so many others, and just in general, like entering this sort of like well-established world takes so much, and a lot of people, more often than not, and it's a little unfortunate, I see people who stress themselves by this. Hey, am I doing enough of a good job? Am I doing a thing because like voice acting is one of those things, and I think it's so fantastic that this gets to happen, is that like we get so much fan interaction. Like, because we are right at that level where fan interaction is still something that we are a part of. Like, if you're in a freaking Marvel movie, yes, people are obviously going to have, large scale opinions, but there's so much constantly flooded at you that like, Chris Evans doesn't have time to constantly observe how everybody is taking his his portrayal of Captain America, but like we hear it and we see it and we meet these people at cons constantly and like we do all of this sort of stuff, and and so like we have all the fan expectations on us as well, especially when it's something that is really successful, like Three Houses, like Persona, like any of those games that like have a new thing that gets joined in or gets brought in and stuff like that. Yeah, Shez is a great example, especially to like, hey, guess what? You're the lead now. Like, what? Also, you have opinions about everything.
You're an avatar that actually speaks throughout the entirety of the story this time.
And I will forever give absolute incredible credit to Dawn and Damien, who just absolutely slaughtered that role. Just absolutely killed it.
Oh, yeah.
And even more credit, and this is the thing that I love, to Zach and Jeannie for stepping up and being like, hey, you're Byleth, but different now, fully different. And everyone has already been you. So they have a full expectation of what you are like. But now you have to kind of be this, and for a while you kind of have to be a jerk, even though you're not a jerk. You're just kind of dead inside because you don't know who you are. Like all of this stuff is just it's so much to like pile on and pile in. But I've never seen anybody like fail. Everyone is constantly worried that they're gonna fail or they're gonna do it wrong or like it's suddenly gonna be a bad performance, and it's like, no. We're all here working to make sure it's not. We all got your back. And if, you know, some writing or something goes off in a direction that players or somebody doesn't like, it's like it's not on really any of you. This was the creative choice. And sometimes people aren't fans of all the creative choices. But like that's not what's bringing you down. It's just you are doing your best and you are making it work.
Yeah, like with the example of Three Hopes, like I have only heard incredible things about Shez and Byleth when it comes to the voices, and it's exactly as you say, like even if people don't like certain things about the games, like those aspects are always like absolutely beloved.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely nailed.
Yeah.
Popcorn here has asked if you have any thoughts about the 5-year time skip happening, and they said that your post on it was really sweet to see.
Oh yeah. It was kind of an emotional thing for me, you know. I mean, like obviously Three Hopes is like one of the biggest factors in my life. It's a series I've loved since I was exposed to it. Like being in Fire Emblem has always meant so much to me because it's this thing that is so integral to like who I am. And so for it to like, I don't know about y'all, but for me, it's hard to think 5 years into the future. And you can think about vague things of like, write down things that you want 5 years into the future, but like that's a make pretend time. I have to pay rent today.
Yeah.
But like to finally really reach that is, I don't know. It meant so much to be there and to still know that like we all are still friends. Like we did it. We made it. We survived all of the chaos into like finally, you know, having the thing happen that like split all of us apart and rejoin like as characters and then rejoined us as characters. And it's I don't know, like things like that you get to work on for like a while, like big projects, and especially big projects that are built around like an ensemble cast are really, it's special because not a lot of the time you do. Like I was saying about Unicorn Overlord, like most of the characters, since all of their like support dialogues weren't voiced and stuff, it was pretty much just like, hey, you're in for like a session, and you know you're gonna do the thing real fast. And a couple people got like maybe 3 or 4, and obviously, you know, the lead got like 15. He never stopped in that whole game. There were like 3 sessions just purely doing the love scenes, and I felt so terrible because I was like, hey man, guess what? You're gonna fall in love with someone else, and he's like, oh god, here we go. But like when you all get to do this and like get to dig into these characters and like find their thing and like and really craft the relationship, and not only their relationship but their very particular relationship with other characters, it means a lot, you know. I know that, like, for example, like I know Allegra and the cast of Persona 3 Reload are like super tight because they got to spend all this time together, like having time with one another. Even if we don't get to like physically be in the space, like you get to know those characters so well, and you get to, you know, eventually like hear what they sound like and sort of know what's going on with them, and you all can kind of take that big journey together. And it's like months of your life, and it's cool and it's important, and I feel like that sort of stuff is really it's really special because it doesn't happen all the time, you know. Sometimes it's just a job, and sometimes it's a job that gets to be a lot more.
It's such an interesting contrast between Persona 3 Reload and the original, and also even like Persona 4. Like Persona 4 feels like the most like friend group of all the Persona 3, the modern Persona games. And yet when I played Reload, I can kind of just feel how this cast, they know each other in real life. Like I've even seen them, they were in panels together. Atlas had them come together for different videos together, and it comes out so naturally between everybody. And on top of just the fantastic performance that they all did.
I feel like, especially with that kind of stuff, like first of all, like the VA community is so much bigger now than it was. Like especially in the last 10-15 years, it's really exploded to be pretty huge. And you know, it's the way that a lot of people like make a life and make a living is through this now. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with Milo, and I feel like Milo's focus on all this is maybe the most important part. I feel like it's been Milo's. Hi, buddy.
Isn't this like the fourth cat we've had take over a stream this con?
Bye, kitty.
Bye.
Is that enough of a cameo for...
You just put the EmblemCon.
Is this enough of a cameo for the EmblemCon?
There it is. There it is. It's officially. There was no way it wasn't going to become EmblemCon one way or another.
It's just
the tiny. We get the 2-second long, and we're good. Well, except Chaz.
We've met the quota. Good job, team.
Anyways, I was what I was saying was I agree. I've always said that like Persona 3 is about a team that becomes friends, and Persona 4 is about friends that become a team, and Persona 5 is about how the adults suck. But like realistically, like that's like that growth and everything is so important to see, you know. And it comes around so much in like, I think Engage was actually one of my favorite things of like seeing that, because like Engage at its heart is like this like fun rollicking Saturday morning cartoon quest right up until everything goes real bad real fast. But it's like hey, what if you did have to live all of those days in between where like nothing big happened, and you know Flame didn't get kidnapped today, and like there was no apathy syndrome today, and nobody's in the TV, and frickin' you know Brodia is not under siege, and all of these things, like all those days exist. You still gotta see everybody. Like you still got to be chill with everyone else in your team. You still got to be, you know, friends with everybody who's in the other houses, because guess what? You have class later. So you can't be that much of a jerk to Hubert, even when he wants to be a jerk to you, because he's in swim with you. And guess what? He's going to complain about it because he's pale and he's trying to stay pale.
So the chat is like going very fast suddenly. Admittedly a lot because of Milo, but
yeah, no, I get
probably
that. One year you'll get Milo. You just got to keep asking him. His schedule is just crazy.
Oh
man, understandable.
Maybe the real Fire Emblem and the real Shin Megami Tensei with the friends we made along the way.
Maybe they were.
Oh wait, Von Zeal, I know had a question. Oh, not a question. A statement earlier on wanting us to bully you for not having played Engage's DLC yet.
Look, Engage's DLC is awesome.
Yes, go on.
It's real good, and it's real. And I played it personally. I haven't played it on stream. But obviously I am owed, or rather I do owe playing it on stream and stuff like that. But it's so I always love, hey, guess what? Your friends are evil. Like, I love that. It's such a fun, especially when they're like, oh, no big threat. But like, what if Saline was real mean? Like, really mean? And I'm like, yeah, what if? Let's go.
The the moment the fan base figured that was probably the plot based on the first trailer, there were so many memes of like, evil Saline, she drinks coffee instead of tea, and a bunch of stuff like that.
Look, she made her character choice.
It's a cheesy trope, but it's so fun.
It works.
Look, it's worked ever since the Mirror Universe in Star Trek, and it's gonna keep working. Like, it's good every time.
Mecha Claude wants you to tell us about the list, TM.
This is look, I like streaming, and I like streaming a lot, and I think it's super fun, and I have such a good time doing it, and I like talking about games because I've been playing games my whole life because I'm a nerd. And like, so I want to play all of these games on stream so that I can talk about them and be a nerd. However, I do not have all of that much time, so I've made a lot of promises that I have not yet kept about things that I'm going to stream or do on stream. And there's a list, and we hit the character limit on the list.
Oh my God.
But people want to add things to the list. So like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, definitely on the list. The Fire Emblem Engage DLC, definitely on the list. I have to do another run of 3 Hopes, that's on the list. I have to do another 24-hour stream so I can beat Mario Sunshine, that's on the list. Red Dead Redemption 2 is on the list. What you'll note here about the list, and what I think is really interesting on the list, is that all of these games are like 300 hours long.
Oh, mood.
Obviously,
how am I going to finish anything these days?
Obviously, you're just supposed to time travel. Did you ever think of that?
You know what? I thought about it briefly, but I have not yet. I haven't crushed into there yet. I should. It's on the list.
Brilliant. Thank you.
So things will get added to the list. And look, sometimes am I just going to stream Magic the Gathering? Yeah, sometimes that's what I'm going to do. I'm sorry, I'm weak. I'm a weak, small boy.
It's valid.
Yeah. And that's a good point. It's 300 hours if I'm really good at it. There we go, MiloCon. Nice.
Thank you, Daniel, for whipping that up.
The best con.
You're welcome. This is what I'm made for. This is what they have me do in the meantime. And then sometimes in the middle of an actual discussion and Q&A. But it's fine.
Milo Emblem hero.
We can multitask.
I keep forgetting we're at a Fire Emblem convention. Man,
Yeah?
there's been so much. It's so funny. I don't know why it is this year. There's so much talk and discussion of Genealogy of the Holy War. A lot more artists have it in their booths. It just come up naturally in discussions and panels all weekend. It's crazy.
We were just hyping up for Christian's stream, obviously.
Yeah, basically gathering energy for the final stream of
We
EmblemCon.
would usually say that when the topic would come up. We'd be like, hey, we've got Christian, and he is an actual nerd for that game as well.
I love Genealogy. It's so good. It's so good. I will continue to hope and pray that one day there's a remake or anything. I love that game so much.
I can only imagine the horrors every time there's a Nintendo Direct, because everyone goes absolutely feral in the primary
That's
community.
me. I'm everyone as well. Losing my mind as we do our reactions.
Yeah, everyone just has like drawings and like Photoshop pictures of like Sigurd and Self putting on clown makeup. Like,
yeah.
I made a
shrines.
summoning circle using the figurines and a bunch of candles. You know.
I'm grasping my physical copy in box every time the Direct starts up.
I need to buy one. Apparently, in Japan, you get them for $15. We've heard.
Oh yeah, they're all over in Japan. You can grab them for nothing in Japan.
They're really cheap there, apparently.
I got
ripped off here in America.
Molly Zhang bought me one because she's super great. It's here somewhere. I think it's in a. I think I've got a new desk, so everything is sort of out of sorts. But it's here somewhere. I have a copy now because Molly bought me a copy. And I'm just hoping, and every time I just get all the tags with all the clown makeup memes and all the
Oh, no.
Look, I got one Nintendo Direct prediction out of nowhere fully right, and I feel like that was like maybe that was my chance. Maybe I needed to like hold it back because I was just casually they were having a Nintendo Direct, but I was going into a session, so I'm like, oh man, it'd be super great if they announced more Tokyo like a new Tokyo Mirage Sessions remake or something like that. Just click, go do my session, come back to like 400 notifications on Twitter. I'm like, oh my god, they actually did. It's real.
Wait, did you actually? Wait, was it actually Tokyo Mirage Sessions that you tweeted that about?
Yeah, it was the time they were like Tokyo Mirage Sessions on Switch. I was like, why don't we get Tokyo Mirage Sessions on Switch?
So
okay,
you manifested
I didn't know you were that based. You're on the call with the two mods who are obsessed with Tokyo Mirage Sessions. So
love Tokyo Mirage Sessions. It's the best game. It's so good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want a zine? Do you want a zine that we made?
Me and Daniel, we made an actual zine. If you want, I can send you a copy.
I would love a TMS zine. I'm here for it.
Sending me like an address, I can send it to you. I'll send you one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
no, that's look.
Hook you up.
TMS is the best. Exactly. And it's idols and it's fun and it's serious and all the times it needs to be serious and it's silly and all the times it needs to be silly. And the combat system is like honestly, it's like the top tier best combats. It's so good.
It's so it's so satisfying. No, my like silly dream was like a remake for the Switch. And I was like, oh, they're never gonna do that. This is gonna be the one Wii U game that's never gonna make it to the Switch. And then I think when Encore was announced, didn't we make the zine like shortly after it was announced, Daniel?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it was around the same time it was announced, and we both just like died.
It's crazy. You're like you were saying, we didn't think Tokyo Mirage Sessions would be the one to go from Wii U to Switch. And funny enough, it's Yoshi's Woolly World. Yoshi's Woolly World of all games is the one that's not on Switch. What the hell?
Did that never make it to Switch?
Woolly World? No, that's like the one major title that's still not on Switch.
Switch 2, they're still trying. Look, I was on my I just want to play Wind Waker, which I've never actually played. I just want to play Wind Waker on the Switch, and there's no Wind Waker. Now at least we get like, I think it's on the virtual console of Switch 2. I think they were like, hey, it's gonna be here. Yeah. And then there was like vaguing about one of the I think one of the images was of a Tellius game, right?
Path of Radiance.
In like the announcement.
Path of Radiance showed
eventually.
Again, you've got the three mods in this call who are obsessed with Tellius as well, so we're all just like, we know that one.
It's like, hey everybody, you better look if you're trying to sell those $150 copies of Path of Radiance, better do it soon because it's coming.
Exactly. I was like, chat also started just talking about TMS because we're all
because it's great. Because it's
they know our audience.
Well, this con was started by a bunch of kids who like idle games and Fire Emblem, and so like the whole time they've sort of been like Tokyo Mirage Sessions fans on the mod team. So we've all sort of curated more and more Tokyo Mirage Session fans here.
Look, it's the weirdest, best game that you're not playing. You should, I was enjoying it. I was having so much fun, and then I realized that the dance instructor is a vague reference to Marty Friedman, who was the guitarist for Megadeth. And that just killed me. That was what sealed the deal. He was the guitarist for Megadeth like way back in the day, and then he left because Megadeth is a crazy band with a crazy history. But he left basically to be a weeb, and he moved to Japan and just was a weeb in Japan.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And then like and like the Tetradeath or whatever their band is it's obviously like a clear Megadeth riff. It's super good. It cracks me up every time.
So yeah, I know they definitely have some references to like real people. Like they have the director whose name is basically just Quentin Tarantino, and
that's right.
Like Quentin Tarantino or something like that.
This is Herlock Sholmes level, and I'm here for it. Like that's all it has to be.
So funny. The Herlock mention.
Yeah.
The chat saying.
Sorry, chat is mostly just screaming about random stuff that we're talking about, so I'm trying to see if there were actual questions within just the...
No, I think we're all vibing right now.
I'm just chilling. I'm just hanging out.
I was
the one
gonna.
person who didn't realize Christian and Legro were dating. Understandable. It took the mod team like 2 years to figure it out as well.
Yeah, we just don't pay attention in general. Like, it's already day 4. Like, I can hardly tell where I am right now, what time it is.
3:52
Look, there's some people in the industry who don't know, and that's, you know, well, everyone, they find out when they find out.
Oh man, there was what was I gonna say? So something about specifically for genealogy until we went to the whole raving about Tokyo Mirage Stitches and everything else. Yeah, because there are some people I know that they weren't really able to get into that game because of just different reasons. Either it's like the structure of the maps, the chapters are huge, or it's just other things that aren't familiar enough to them from previous Fire Emblem games. But one of the things that I was wondering about, because I wanted to ask somebody who I feel is pretty well versed in genealogy, like, given the nature of the darker themes that we see in a game like that, like, do you, in your opinion, do you think Nintendo would alter the story of genealogy to appeal to like a wider audience, or can you see them leaving the majority of that story as it was, if it was a hypothetical remake?
That's a good question, and I mean, look, I certainly won't speak to what Nintendo is up to because I have no earthly idea. I just know that they're doing good work, and that's really that's all they have to keep doing. You know what? Honestly, I don't know. I know there's so much in that game that like really digs into it gets into some rough stuff. You know, I mean, like a lot of the characters who are evil are really evil. And I think especially now, it's a thing that we see a lot is that there's this weird sort of contrast between like comically evil and like, oh, that's real, that's okay, that's real bad. You know, like it's real easy to be like, oh, like Sephiroth, like well-intentioned extremist level of evil, right? And he's like, I'm gonna kill the world because you guys are ruining it, and I'm just gonna be God and fix it on my own. That does involve killing all of you, right? And that's like a grand evil. That's an evil that's so phenomenally high up when it comes to evil that it's like it's like it has a whole nother level. You can't, I mean, you can be like, we will defeat you, Sephiroth, but it's hard to like hate Sephiroth because the point is like, yeah, environmentalism is something we need to be concerned about the environment. He's not super wrong. He's not totally wrong. He's just wrong in his methods. And then there's like chaotic, pure chaos evil, like Kefka. It's all Final Fantasy right now. I'm just going Final Fantasy.
Understandable.
But where it's just like, I don't know, chaos. Chaos is better, right? Let's just murder everything until there's nothing left to murder. And then it's so hard to get into evil that feels so personal. And that's always the thing that, like, those are the ones that, like, get me the most. Like, I remember for a long time, and it's interesting to think of because I see it now when I look back. Some of them, I see it as like it was a little bit of not a character flaw, but like a literary analysis flaw on my part to so deeply hate these characters that I did not want to try to empathize with them or understand where they were coming from. Like characters who are truly horrifically wicked in a very personal way. And to be fair, there are some still where I'm like, no forgiveness. What's his name from frickin' the second half of the first season of Sword Art? Oberon? No, that guy can go right to hell. Like, I hate him with all of my heart. It's like, you gotta be real evil for Kirito to want to kill you in real life, to actually maybe kill you, like to get real close to that level. And like, I remember like it, but it's like, that is a personal evil. Because does he have big grand evil goals? Yes, but he hurts Asuna, and he's cruel to Asuna, and it is a personal thing. And it's the way that I feel about, I was thinking about this earlier, it's the same way that we feel about like Bernie's dad. That is a personal evil. He is cruel to Bernie for no reason, or whatever reason he thinks that it is for, are so wicked and unforgivable so as to not be in any way acceptable to us. Like, that is evil that cannot be replicated, like that cannot be excused away. So much so that like I know there's that Hope's mission where it's like, oh no, Bernie's dad is dead. Well, whatever.
Anyway,
I guess we'll just keep playing. But like those personal evils are so hard to deal with, and it's like it's exactly like like you see it with Julius, and it's like the child hunts and stuff like that, and it reminds me so much of like the one that nobody has watched, which is Thor: Love and Thunder, where it's like the bad guy is out there hunting children, admittedly for a different reason, but like that falls so deeply into that level of like a personal evil. You're hurting somebody who has no recourse to fight back, and for no noble purpose. Whatever noble purpose cannot be explained by your desire to like hurt a child. And that's such a difficult thing to capture, but such an incredible thing to capture too. Like getting asked to play those kinds of characters is really like, it's a challenge as an actor, because that's like, you want to try and inhabit the characters that you're doing your best to perform as, but like it is a fully different headspace to be like a really wicked person. And I remember, I will always think about this when we were doing stuff like Engage, and dealing with like even spoilers for Engage, I guess, brief spoilers for the end of Engage. I'll give you like a 5 count down, and then I'll wave my hand when I'm done with it. But like, here we go. Quick spoilers for Engage. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So like, when you're dealing with Alir as Alir was, that's hard. Yeah. It's hard to put yourself there, and it is mentally taxing to put yourself in a place where you're like, I don't care, and dad says kill, so I'm gonna kill. Like a true like I don't understand friendship, because that is not like the only way to rise in my father's esteem is by hurting people, so I guess I will do that. And so like anytime you have to go into those headspaces, and some people can do it like nothing, and they just click in and out, and they're like, yeah, whatever, dude, I'm just playing a villain. But like, sometimes it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, especially to be characters like that. So yeah, it's just it's always an interesting thing to think about how wicked and how terrible things can go, because you don't want to be associated with those things, but like those performances are really good for their horrificness. I'm sorry. Anyways, I'll sort of I will de-spoilerize us if you guys are good with that.
It's all good.
Okay, so we're out of spoiler territory now. No more spoilers.
Oh, it's a totally fascinating perspective, because like, yeah, those kind of characters, I guess you don't really see that kind of evil as common as like, oh, I'm the big bad who's gonna take over the world or conquer this and whatnot. But the actual like personal evils, as you mentioned, yeah, those aren't seen as often, and it makes them feel they stand out a lot more, especially when someone can really become and just inherit that character into their personality for that moment.
It's a real incredible thing to like watch happen and to like be a part of seeing, and it's another thing entirely to like experience it, just like have it come at you real hard. It always gets me when I'm like, God damn, especially because I'm always like, it's inevitably like Keith Silverstein or someone who I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you mean the sweetest man alive? Yeah,
right.
My favorite one is oh my gosh, the guy who plays oh my god, it's in my head. He's one of the bad dads in Fire Emblem, and which is they're all bad dads. That's not true. Some of them are good dads. But like he does all of these like horrible things, and he comes out and he's like, oh hey, by the way, I'm volunteering at this kitten rescue this weekend, like legitimately. And I'm taking in all of these like wobbly kittens because they need a home, and I'm just like, you can't do that. Actually, if you guys wouldn't mind giving me just a second, I think I'm gonna have to go fetch Milo real quick.
Okay, that's fine.
No problem.
Yeah, one sec. Be right back.
Oh man. Well, EmblemCon is thankfully still up on the screen. Oh no, they're gonna see where I messed up. I didn't save it correctly. I need to go back and.
Oh wait, no, I can see where you messed up.
Now you can see it. Oh, don't make it bigger. Why? You good? He's just kind of dancing around with it.
I don't know. The profile picture is like the way Discord works means that the profile picture's in like a really annoying spot. So
yeah. No, he's still here. He's just like an inch tall.
The picture is like it keeps getting like half cut by the things. Like, I can move this somewhere. Oh yeah, charity. Sorry, we're very EP and distracted.
Do I gotta plug the charity one more time?
I can scuffedly fuck. I can
I don't know if you can.
I can scuffily plug it. The sun is
Go
rising,
for it.
by the way. Again.
Oh no, not the radiant dawn.
Yesterday, we went on a bit too long and I didn't go to bed till 7 in the morning for reference.
I'm sorry.
I was sorry to chat because you were there. Charity. Yeah, so we are raising money for direct relief. You can see at the top we actually hit our goal this morning, I think, by American standards. We have raised a little over $1,000 for direct relief, which is a worldwide charity that raises money towards providing relief from environmental disasters and stuff. Daniel has like a whole script memorized. I just say like environmental disasters and stuff like that. You know, basically providing relief throughout the world to people who need it in those kind of situations. If you donate $5, you'll be entered into a raffle to get some lovely prizes from our Artist Alley and Creatives Corridor participants. $10 will enter you into everything. As for what time the raffle will be held at, we will probably do what we did. We will probably more formally define this in the closing ceremony, which is gonna be in like 12 hours. But we will probably do a stream like a week or two from now after we've slept, where we'll sort of do a kind of like post-con debrief, go over any changes that we're doing to the con next year if we have any, and then we do the raffle like at the end of that. We did that last year and it seemed to go well, so we'll do that again this time.
Yeah. So yeah, just make note right now. 12 hours from now, that's when the closing ceremony will be, and then we'll discuss all that,
Probably.
and then we'll figure things out from there when we're not deprived of all sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donate.
Welcome back.
Stuff, help people. Thank you. I also realized I'm like, I know it's 8 now. We've reached the times of you guys are crashing. Absolutely. I'm so sorry. I know it was like the last minute where I was like, no, fuck, let me get Milo.
Oh no, it's fine.
He has to be in no mommy jail, which is his least favorite place to be.
Oh, I miss having a cat, man.
Same here. Same.
So
fun.
He's such a good boy. He is the best boy.
Oh, sorry. We were plugging charity whilst you were gone, and we just got a charity donation.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That brings us to an even
$1,200.
$200 over our initial goal. Thank you, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Congratulations. That's wonderful. Yeah, always incredible. I'm always glad you guys are putting forth the charity stuff and you're doing good work and you just, bring a lot of people together for a fun weekend. I know it's a lot and I know you all are very tired, but
oh, it's always worth it to bring everyone together, get all the panels going. Everyone has a great time. The Artist Alley always is popping every day, and to talk with everyone, all the voice actors that we're able to bring over as well. It's always such a pleasant time. This is honestly more like a break to just chat and just not worry about the other stuff. It's nice.
Well, it's also nice because we don't have anything on after this. It's like, okay, no stress about sorting stuff out. It's this, and then we're done.
Right. It's easy to survive a long night when you're like, it's the last night that will have to be long.
Exactly.
Definitely. Oh, man. Well, what about, you got any more points or questions from chat, Akka? Or how we doing? How you feeling, actually?
I'm feeling. Yeah, that's a response. Yeah. I'm feeling.
As long as you feel something.
If they were, there definitely are unanswered questions, but they were so long ago that Milo talk or something else Robo Tortoise, who I imagine is probably regular in at least Allegra and if not your chat as well, but is also actually a friend of, is also actually like a long-term friend of mine as well. Who wants to know your thoughts on having 2 cats?
I look. There's only 2 versions of 2 cats. There's 2 cats that love each other and 2 cats that hate each other. And right now, I just have Milo, and he's a good boy. He's the best boy. I've never had 2 cats. I've had 2 dogs. I've never had 2 cats all at the same time. I have experienced watching 2 cats. Occasionally, I had to go watch Erica and Lucian's cats, and they do not like me, which is fair. But like I know that they you just gotta do your best. Sometimes you just gotta have 2 cats. Sometimes it's gotta be double the cat. It's twice as many cats.
I actually had 2 cats for a very long time, for like 7 years. Funny enough, they didn't love or hate each other. They were actually just completely ambivalent.
Just like, I suppose this one is also here.
Yeah, that is literally how they were. Like, maybe once every, like, 6 months they would, like, snuggle together. And then other than that, they just did not care.
Just little cats. Just little guys. Just trying to live their life.
Whenever was asking, what is the best part of Milo? In which case, I guess it really is becoming MiloCon
Oh my god,
now at this point.
I am all for MiloCon.
Make the logo bigger.
Wait.
The best part of Milo, Milo's got very good noises. He's a very loud boy. He's a very chatty boy. So he's got very good noises. He's got very good flops. He's got some pretty peak flops. He's also has like the biggest eyes. They're like anime eyes. They're really crazy.
The brief moment we saw them, gorgeous.
Yeah, he's a very handsome boy. He's a very handsome boy, and that's tough because I'm trying to be a handsome boy, but I just have this constant competition.
So I'm just using my connections to get pics of Milo. Okay.
Oh, I see. That's what's happening.
I have like 2-year-old messages from a friend of mine talking about how great Milo is. Like, so.
It's the magic of Milo. It really, he gets everywhere. He invades and becomes, and then there is only Milo.
Understandable.
Zonzio saying, or Bonzio saying.
Yeah,
you got it.
You read it out.
Christian, don't compare yourself with Milo. No one can compare with you. Heart emoji.
That's true. Well, Milo is he's the best. He's top tier. It's difficult. It's tough to live in a world that has a Milo in it because I know that I can never reach that level. But I'm gonna keep striving. I'm gonna keep giving it my best. Look, I've reached the point in my life where I've accepted that the odds of me becoming a Major League Baseball player are low. But I was never going to be Aaron Judge if it came to that. I was going to find some other niche. So we'll just work that out. We'll find another niche. Just there we go. See, just cover me with Milo.
It just becomes. What have you done?
There it is. Nice. Good.
So handsome.
Gorgeous.
He is. He's got a little strut going. He's phenomenal.
Wow. The coloration, though, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Similar coloration to my old cats in a way, so I get very nostalgic seeing Milo.
Oh.
Aw.
We love them. We love the
breed,
cats.
or is he just random?
He's whatever he is. He's a mess. He's a
cat.
hot mess. I think Allegra's like maybe ragdoll a little bit, but also he's like clearly got like the Himalayan coloring and stuff, and like he does like some like he's definitely a mutt cat. I don't know if there's a term for that.
Muggle.
Just a mix.
Muggle is the term.
With some fantastic socks.
Oh, is it really? See?
Yeah. My cat's for ragdolls, so like that's what I was seeing in him as well.
So
I see ragdoll in there.
You look at that face. Look at that face.
Now I just want to pet the Milo.
There we go.
ones who are
We're just gonna slowly cover Christian with more and more pictures until there's no more.
This is the do it for her meme. This is it.
Oh my god.
Do it for Milo.
Milo. Do it for Milo.
Like there's usually something derailing one of Christian's streams.
Oh yeah.
If it's not just one of us, because we're slowly losing our handle on all our senses.
Hey, for
how many photos did you get sent?
I think I got sent 4, but I have other older messages.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Look at those eyes.
See, those eyes scream ragdoll to me. They're like big and blue.
Yeah, he's got something there.
Wait, how old is he?
He's like 5.
Baby.
Yeah, he's just a baby. He's so small. He's very small, and he loves Allegra, and everybody else is also here, and that's sort of peak Milo. But he knows that I'm the one who gives him treats. He knows I'm the one who feeds him. So every morning he's like, meow, meow, at Allegra. And then I'm the one who gets up and feeds him. He never meows at me to do it. But then I go out and feed him, and he knows it's time. And he always baps me on the foot because he has his little place under the bench where he sits and waits for me to feed him. And he baps me on the foot as I go past, and I'm like, I know, I'm getting you food. I get you food every time. You 100% success rate of me getting you food. It has worked every time.
He's always like, oh no, is this the one where he forgets? I must make sure. I must.
Today confirm. I will starve. No, he'll be fine. He'll survive this.
Well, Aka, do you have...
Oh, sorry, I was editing more stuff.
Oh my god.
I was trying to figure out what Milo's last name would be.
Milo Von Fire Emblem Clark.
There we go.
If you guys want, well, we could do like 5-10 minutes of like rapid fire questions, and I'll do the best I can, and then I can let you sleep. How's that?
Oh sure, let's
Whatever
see.
You're down with.
Let me see what I can find real quick. Lee MCN is asking, what was your favorite line you voiced without knowing the context behind it?
Ooh boy. That's a real good one. Generally, I feel like I've mostly known when it was happening. Like I knew in like the Marion Ignatz one, I knew what was going on when we were like, no, I just wanted to fly on a Pegasus. But my favorite very quick story about a line that seems as though it did not know the context is that sometimes in games, especially in JRPGs, they have you record like 40 or 50 like various emotive reacts for like non-voiced text. So it's like, hey, it's like, here's the happy sound, and you're like, ah, and then it's like the sad sound, and it's like, oh, and stuff like that. So it can like fill in non-voiced text. And we were testing a game. This was back when I was a tester. 1 second, let me send this quick message. And I was just a tester on the game, but we were going through, and we got to this sequence in the game where like the villain had finally revealed his like grand plan, and his evil flesh castle had like risen from the ground or whatever. And like the best friend and like the main character's best friend was murdered, and all of these things. And like we got immediately to the next scene, and it was unvoiced. And it played the sad sound when his thing started, but the sad sound was aww. So we were like, hey, not a bug, but just a request. Can we change that sound? Because that's really killing the mood here. So that's a peak, like, obviously, like, we didn't know all the contexts in which that was going to get used when we recorded it.
That's incredible. Oh my god. Let me see here real quick as we go along. Shimmy Shankenbay, which is a great name, by the way. What's your favorite sword, real or fantasy? I'm not sure if I quite understand that,
I love
but
the idea of having a favorite real sword. Like, I know people definitely do, but that's just such a funny idea to me.
My favorite real sword. See, it's tough because, like, obviously, I love my Tyrfing, and I love the heroes' relics. I love that they're like weirdly alive. I think that's so dope. Like, I love Thunderbrand. I think that's sick. My favorite. Okay. It's hard to rank favorites because I'm like this. But one of my top literary swords of all time is Seijura, which is from Patrick Rothfuss's King Killers series. And it's just a good sword. Like, it's like loosely magical, but it's not like, oh, it shoots fireballs or anything. It's just like a really good, well-made sword. And it has like this name and this long history and all of this stuff. But he there's like the name for it in like the culture he gets it from, which is like Cesare, because it's like vaguely Italian ninjas. But then like because the main character, when he like receives it after he's like been proven worthy of the training, he gets it and he's a poet, and he's like, it stops things, and it stops things like a harsh line in a poem, which is a Seijura, so he names it that. And I'm like, that's just sick as hell. Like, what a dope ass name for a sword. My favorite, theoretically, real life sword is Durandal, which is the sword of Roland, who was ostensibly a knight in the service of Charlemagne, and Durandal was ostensibly mythologically so powerful that it like cut through mountains to make a pass for Charlemagne's troops to pass to enter I think Spain. I think they were in France. They were trying to get to Spain, but theoretically there is a sword embedded in a mountain in France that they're like, where we think that may be the legendary Durandal. That might be theoretically it. So yeah, that's a real sword I think is dope. I'm like a sword guy, so
dang,
I got a lot of swords. I know a lot about swords.
How many swords do you own?
4 or 5.
Dang, I'm not messing with you. I'm scared.
I have like 2 katanas that I got for a show that I performed in college. I have a 1796 pattern cavalry saber, like a replica. I have a replica of Seijura somewhere, and I think I have a rapier, and I have a Lord of the Rings sword somewhere. I'm not sure. I think it's Enduril. It's one of them. I need to check. It's not enough. It's not enough swords. I always need more swords. I hate to cop this, but every once in a while that thing pops up on like my YouTube shorts or whatever of them talking about Brennan Lee Mulligan and like how he has a second apartment for his swords. And I'm like,
I think I've seen that,
yeah. Like, that would be ridiculous. That would be, who would do that? That was crazy.
Oh my god. Well, Aka, do you see any more questions that we can run through, or are we just about up at the end?
Question of what's the most interesting job you've had, and it's based on the sword thing.
Barring actor, which allowed me to use the swords, which is dope. That's a good. I mean, like I've been like a video game tester. I've been a video game writer. I've obviously been this. I've worked at everything from restaurants to, you know, I was a bagger at a grocery store, which they don't have anymore. That doesn't exist anymore. That's a weird thought. Like I've been PAs on various sets. Just the other day, actually, I found a commercial that I was in when I was very small, for like it was like a hook up your seatbelt PSA, and I had one sequence in that, and like all of these things. So I have a weird collection of things. I was once threatened to be fired because I didn't sell enough salmon.
I love that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, I don't love that for you, but I love that as a sentence.
Yeah, right? It's a good, at the time, horrifying. In retrospect, hilarious.
Yeah.
Just thinking about trying to sell fish at the market.
So yeah, I've had a lot of jobs. I've had a lot of gigs of various kinds. Rarely as sword oriented as I've wanted them to be, although I am fortunate enough to have like gotten to do repertory Shakespeare, so I did get to sword fight pretty frequently and almost kill a couple people on accident. But we're good.
Excuse me.
Look, they were like, okay, everybody pair up and choreograph a sword battle for the final fight of Richard III, and I'm like, dope. And me and my buddy Austin, who were like best friends at that, like at this Shakespeare thing that we were doing, like we choreographed it, and we were doing real good. And eventually, like it just became second nature, and like you perform this thing 150 times, like you just click in and do it. And once, like he tripped at the worst possible moment, and like my sword was like already halfway through the next motion, and there was like this real weird like pirouette slide move I had to do to not like de-sword him real fast.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
I do like the comment, he's going for the 50 kills on the silver sword. Yeah.
You gotta use it all the way up to the end.
You gotta use it, you gotta upgrade that, you gotta make it happen. You gotta Snapdragon it like Tactics Ogre. Oh my buddy.
I heard that.
Yeah. So he's a loud boy.
I love loud cats. My previous cat, she was very old, so she had been deaf for a few years. And she was already loud before going deaf, but when she no longer could hear herself, it was a whole other level of just screaming. No meows, only screams. Well, Milo was obviously just saying hello to all of his adoring fans.
His adoring fans, as he should.
Yeah.
They deserve to be graced with his noise.
Okay, do we have a last minute question by anyone?
One more, if there's any.
Oh yeah, actually, this one I did want to ask. Do you have any tips for people who want to get into the VA industry, especially in this day and age?
Well, there's a lot of answers for this question, so I'm going to give you at least as many as I can think of right off the top of my head. And the first thing is, if you have no experience, but it's something you want to do, take normal acting classes. Don't just take VA classes, because normal acting class, it's all the same skills, and whatever you can learn from any other style of acting, and do other styles of acting as much as you can. Act in theater, act on film if it's available. Like, do these things. I want to be a voiceactor.com. The classic is always a good one. Obviously, it's filled with good information. Tara and Yuri have a book, Voiceover, Voice Actor, which is phenomenal. But like the big tips are, take whatever kind of acting classes you can. Take them from every teacher you can, from a variety of folks. If you're beyond that point, if you're like, hey, I've like taken acting classes, I'm invested in being an actor, it's a thing I want to do, but I specifically want to focus towards voiceover work. Remote work is very possible. It's tough. It's a little tougher now than it was during the pandemic, because there was a while where it was like, whatever, everything. And now it's like, okay, the world is a little bit back to like people have to go places. So like, try. Big step, obviously, is moving to one of the big markets. That's important. Eventually. I work with people all the time who are from other locations, who get plenty of gigs and work plenty of stuff. So don't feel like you have to make a big move right at the start. You can try stuff out. Look, all of these little things, your Twitter casting calls, you're like, hey, it's an indie thing, and I'm just trying to get, people to put together and do this thing. Whatever experience you can get and whatever experience you can have is worth doing, because at the end of the day, like 30, 40 years ago, and heck, even like 15, 20 years ago, the name of the game was how many voices can you do? Can you be Bugs Bunny and also Pepe Le Pew and also, the Martian, and also like, can you do all of this stuff? And that's not the name of the game anymore. The name of the game now is you. We want to bring as much of you as is humanly possible to the role. So it's about the acting. You get those chops up, learn the stuff, learn how the things that you like work, learn how the things you don't particularly care about work, learn how commercials work, learn how, if you want to act in anime and JRPGs, study those for sure, but study Western games, study like all of the things as much as possible, and just figure stuff out. My favorite thing to just like get practice in, my favorite thing is when I read books, if I have a moment to myself, and I read all the time, but like I just work that stuff out aloud. It's seriously, and like you find your little different voices and your little different quirks for making sure everybody is clear, but you understand the full context of each line because you're being delivered it. You are given the direction in the form of the narration, and you get to like have these exchanges and work them out how they would be best delivered. And that's free real estate right there. Oh my god, that's an old reference. That's free practice, you know. Being a VA is tough. It's tough because even the best are constantly getting rejected, and learning to deal with that rejection is another huge thing that you have to do. But I will end this in the way that I end some of my voiceover classes when I give them. There's like a very brief little mental health spiel, which is that like this is so cool and it's so fun to get to do and to like and to like watch and learn and listen to interviews with people and to be a part of this community, which it takes a while to get your foot in the door in. It does, and it's going to take a while, and it's about perseverance, and it's about knowing that like, hey, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen. I just have to keep working at it. But the most important thing is to not let it be the only thing that defines your life, because if it's easy for it to become that because everybody's cool, and you then like you get in and you get to be friends with everybody and you're hanging out and you're doing the stuff, and guess what? They're going to get a role you want, and you're going to get roles they want, and some people are going to struggle, and you're going to have a tough time with this or that, or a tough week or a tough month or a tough year. Like these are real things that happen. So the most important thing is to make sure that if this is something you want, that this is not the only thing that you have. Don't let this be the only bullet in your gun. It's not worth it. Live your life. Have friends that don't give a shit about this. One of my best friends in the whole world could not name an anime if you had a gun to his head. He couldn't name one. And that includes like Dragon Ball. And like,
man.
The fact that, but like, that's not why we're friends, we're friends for a million other things. And that means that I can go to him and I can be like, hey, I didn't get this thing and I feel bad, or I did get this thing and I feel great. And he could be like, that's dope. I don't know who any of those people are. Do you want to go get KBBQ? And then we get KBBQ and it's delicious. And then we all feel better. And like, seriously, it's a creative field, and it's a passionate field, and everybody feels the way you do about it if you want to pursue it. Don't feel like you have to invest in it wildly off the top. You can grow and you can shift and you can level up progressively. You don't have to speed level your way through it. Just make sure that you have stuff that is outside it and does not depend on it, because your world should not be your job, no matter what that job is.
Absolutely.
Thank you. In any case, thank you everybody for showing up. I super appreciate it. If there were any questions that I didn't answer or anything, feel free to stop by any of my streams and ask me there, and I'll see what I can do to help you out.
Do you have anything to plug?
I do stream. I stream at Count of La Monte Cristo. Which is not how you pronounce my last name, but it is the best way to say that name for spelling purposes.
Yeah.
I don't stream as much as I would like. I'm going to be at PAX next week, PAX East. I will be there. Feel free, if you see me, to stop me and give me a high five or anything like that. I'm trying to get to some other cons this year, so if you have a local con that you would like me to come along to, tell them to ask me. My Twitter DMs and stuff are open so that cons and people like that can reach out. There's stuff coming out, but I can't even remotely talk about it. I think Blue Box is out. Go watch that. It's actually really good and really fun. It's like, it's a sports anime, but it's also like super, super cute. It's real adorable.
I love that kind of stuff.
It's a sports anime about badminton, and they're all dumb. They're all so dumb but sweet.
That sounds great.
So yeah, there's all sorts of things going on. I know Allegra streams and she's got a lot going on. I know Milo streams, he's got a lot going on. I'm trying to be more active and stuff. Social media is tough. There was a while where it was fun, and then it seemed like it was really not fun for a while. But we're trying to get back into it and make sure that like I get some stream time and stuff like that. There are plenty of games coming out that are going to be really, really exciting. I'm super stoked for them. And just keep an eye on and ear out, and hopefully I'll be there involved in them.
Thank you so much. We've got one of our mods who is putting all the links to those in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us yet again and putting up with our tomfoolery.
I'm always happy to. It's always a joy.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone, thank you for watching. This is the last proper, in quotation marks, panel of EmblemCon. The next one will be some point, probably in like 11.5 hours. We have a countdown somewhere, but I don't remember the exact time. When the mods are awake, basically, we'll have like the fancy closing ceremony. But thank you so much, Christian, and thank you for yet again being the last panel of the con, because it's always just late night, semi-insane Christian hours.
That's right. That's what we do.
Yeah, big thank you to Milo. Sorry, how could I forget?
Yeah, big thank you to Milo.
Big thank you to Milo as well.
Thank you, Milo.
He's in here right now. He's very great. He's accepting it graciously, as he do.
So humble.
Yeah.
So humble.
Thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and we will see you in the closing ceremony. All right, thank you.
All right, everyone.